Hello everyone, my fellow viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a newest and the latest of my YouTube video. Considering from the very last video that has been on my channel, it's been about 5 years since I've last uploaded something. I know that's a very long time, but there is a very good reason why I haven't uploaded anything since then. I'm gonna try and tell you guys everything that has happened with me lately and the reason why I haven't uploaded anything. I'm gonna try and say this in one go. So I've got at least 6 on my list, so let's get into the first one. It be with the coronavirus, aka COVID-19. Yeah, the virus halted the entire world. We were all out of the job and we were all stuck at home, unable to do any work of some kind. I know for some of you, it was a very hard time to go through. But for me, it was the opposite. I managed to do a lot of video editing, a lot of catch up on my work, and I even took the time to play some of my games on the PS4 that I never got round to buying, and they've been like sitting on my shelf between 6 to 9 months. And so I made the time to play Dragon Quest 11, and then I played and finished Final Fantasy 15, and of course the very latest one which I was very excited to play, which was Final Fantasy 7 Remake on the PlayStation 4. And I decided to plug it in downstairs, and when my mum went to sleep, and I go downstairs with my headphones plugged into the controller, and I play the game from then on at night till like daybreak, like 6 or 7 in the morning, and then I'm sleeping for 6 or 8 hours at a time, because what else is there really to do? I have gone outside. I have done some shopping for me and my mum and anything else that we may need. And from some of my latest videos, like one in particular of the empty Milton Keynes, the city centre, where there's practically like 1 or 2 people and there's no other life, like completely bare and empty. And so I'm actually quite glad you guys enjoyed that, especially with the choice of music that I've added towards it. After COVID managed to somewhat die down, managed to get back into work and some in the routine, and I can tell you all for a solid fact that I did not catch the COVID at all. I stayed completely healthy, I stayed completely clean, protected, and got my jabs and washed my hands, which I've always been washing my hands very well, way before this coronavirus even happened. And I just carried on as it is. But of course, it took a couple of more years until we all managed to get back to life. I know some people are still suffering even further, or the aftermath of the COVID-19. But for me, it gave me a massive amount of time to do what I needed to do at home. So for my second topic is to do with money. Yes, the worrying of money when COVID happened was concerning, because not only what I was going to be unable to work, but my mum was unable to work, and some of her benefits were not going to be able to cover anything. Thankfully, my job provided a wage for everyone at my old job, and I managed to stay alright and afloat and kept going. But of course, there was so much that needed to be provided for with money, namely my filming, which when I got back into filming with my group, I was lacking in some money budget department when I was filming in Bradfield, and so I had to put off with a lot of the filming so that I can work more on trying to save up a budget, because I do struggle to try and save money from my job, from the wages I earn. Any bit of benefits and jobs and freelancing jobs that I make, sometimes it's not enough money, sometimes it's a good haul, but I have to end up spending it for like food and help with the bills and such. Eventually things did get better, which moves on to our third topic, which is a new job. Where I worked was Dobby's Garden Centre in the restaurant department. I'd been there for 6.5 years, and I managed to get the job because of my good friend David, who a shout out to David to thank you very much for helping me to get that job, because I was only on a 2 months contract at River Island Warehouse, and by the time Christmas finished I was out of the job again. And thanks to him, I managed to get a spot in the restaurant where I have stayed since. But through along the years, like I say coming to 3.5 to 4 years, I was incredibly unhappy there. I had to end up doing the pot wash because 3 employees who were pot washers left, so I ended up doing it as a technicality. I wasn't feeling satisfied with the earnings because this was like way before the national living wage was actually becoming a thing. And even when it was introduced, it only went up like once a year. I was not getting along with a huge number of people there, both men and women, and it was becoming increasingly sexist towards me because I was only like the only young, fit, active male employee who was able to do a lot of the work. A lot of the women there were much, much older women than me, in their 40s to their 60s. Some had leg problems, some had hip problems, and some even had difficulties with long labour. And so I had to do the work for them the best I can. It was coming just past 6 years and I was reaching my limit. I was so sick and tired of the shit. And so I was looking for jobs elsewhere. And then I managed to find a nice job up in the city centre, because Dobby's Garden Centre, if none of you knew, is in Fenny Stratford, which is on the edge of Bletchley, further down the road past Pink Punters, the nightclub. So to get there, I walk naturally to stay fit and active, and so it takes me 1 hour's worth of walking there. Sometimes 45 minutes, sometimes 1 hour, and sometimes in between, depending on my speed and my walking stride. And certain conditions of the weather did not help, which usually pushed me back to 1 hour, like the freezing cold winter or the tsunami heavy rain and the blistering hot desert sun. But anyway, I had to swallow my pride in the certain job position, but the manager was impressed, and so he hired me on the spot. And then after about 2 or 3 weeks, I left my job at Dobby's Garden Centre, and now I am working there, which I have been there for over 3 years, and I'm going to continue because the workplace is far more better. The pay is great. It's also weekly, which is why I was so miserable in my old job, because it was monthly pay. And I also get great benefits as well. And one of those great benefits is that I need time for myself and time to work on my filming. So in my old job at Dobby's, I worked 5 days a week and 2 days off. But in my new job, I only work 4 days and get 3 days off. That gives me enough time to do any of my usual work, like freelancing work or video editing on my computer, script writing, or organize with filming. And of course do normal regular things like do some filming for YouTube elsewhere, here and there, abandoned places as you've all been watching, and Comic-Con events, and just anything that might be of interest and that's interesting for you viewers and subscribers to come and watch and check me out. So I am very happy with my new job, but naturally it's not the primary job that I've always wanted. I want to work somewhere like a film industry, but the way I am now, I don't think I will be getting a position there anytime soon. But we'll see, and I'll just keep moving forward and see what comes next. So the fourth topic, which I have mentioned several times, is of course my filming. This also includes filming which I do for YouTube, both this channel and my other channel, the Rob's Film Crew, where because of COVID it delayed everything. Some of my people did get sick, but they managed to recover very quickly than some, because nearly all of them are not even strong smokers or alcohol, and they definitely do not take drugs. They keep themselves fit and healthy, but naturally people get sick like a cold sickness, but with COVID it was just the same. And for YouTube, I uploaded whatever I had salvage and whatever I can actually work on at home, which you have all seen, which led to pretty much the video known as Visiting Dragon Armory, which was practically the very last thing I uploaded in this past 5 years. But I am back to filming, and I have been doing some filming. Right now it's getting increasingly difficult because of a certain change in my lifestyle and situation, which I will come to in a bit. There's also the fact I'm lacking in transportation, because I've only got a friend who's an actor who helps with transportation when I do filming in Milton Keynes. So now, the next two topics, which is the most hardest and difficult one to explain, which will make sense for everything. So topic 5. 3 years ago, in April in 2022, my mum suddenly passed away from a stroke. It happened suddenly when I woke up on a Thursday to get ready for work, and I found my mum in the living room, face up, giving off a weird snoring noise. Not your regular sleep snoring, but a very odd snoring, and I couldn't wake her up. So I managed to get help from my neighbour, take her to the hospital, and then I found out that the stroke she has led to a bleed on her brain, and that there was a high probability that she wasn't going to live. I sat with her, and it was horrible. Brown blood spitting from her orifices, and I saw her expression that she was in great pain from the bleed happening on her brain. She was completely unconscious, so I'm not even sure if she even realised that I was even there. And then suddenly, she passed away. Naturally, I let my workplace know, but what came even more devastating is that I had to tell my sister. My sister was in London with her youngest boy, her son. I told her that our mum went to hospital and she needed to come back, but she never made it. And then the difficult thing was building up the strain to tell her when she arrived, and she was constantly asking, where is mum? And then I just told her eventually that mum had died, and she was greatly upset so much. And this was in front of like 15-20 people also sitting down and waiting. And then took her through the hospital to the Purple Wing, where I also explained to the security guard that I just told my sister that our mum had passed away. She visited our mum, her lifeless body on the table, crying over and crying for her mum. Soon afterwards, even more devastation happened. That I did not want to be cruel at all. So I said to my sister that we have to visit our nan, because our nan lives in Milton Keynes too, and that my mum was her firstborn out of 8 other brothers and sisters. So my mum was part of a siblings of brothers and sisters of 9. 4 from my nan's first marriage and 5 from my nan's second marriage. So we went over to my nan's place, where building up the courage and then telling her that our mum passed away. Naturally, she was comforting my sister because she was broken and devastated. I was keeping it straight and cool and level-headed because I had to now think from A to Z that everything that's going to change for me, which has changed and it's still changing now. After a while, my sister had to tell everybody else. Some of our aunts and uncles came to the house because they live in Milton Keynes too, and took our nan to a bedroom where she had time to herself to cry and to grieve. Since my mum's death, I haven't been able to upload anything to YouTube. That was part of the reason why none of you have heard from me. The other reason was just focusing on my new job, focusing on earning enough money, and focusing on my filming. But the death of my mum pushed it even longer. So I am very sorry that you have not heard from me for so long. And since my mum's death, I've had to take up responsibility with the house, with all the bills, because I provided some of my money to my mum to help pay the bills. And so I've been a workaholic. I've been trying to push with my filming, and I've only eventually started to upload my own fan-based series, Final Fantasy Trinity, which I appreciate if you can hop over to that channel and have a watch. If you like Final Fantasy, if you like RPG, or if you're just curious about my film projects altogether. I have tried to proceed and do more editing at fast pace, but I was not finding the motivation because I was very sad that I'm grieving. I'm still grieving now, and there's just so much to do for one person. True, I've had support here and there, but they can't give me constant support all their lives, or all my lives. They've had difficulties and problems of their own, and time to grieve, especially my sister as well. And naturally the sixth one is the latest, which is also another death, which includes now my nan. That my nan has also passed away, and she died on December 22nd, 2024, just last year. So a few days before Christmas and a few days before her 90th birthday, which her birthday was on Boxing Day. And I haven't seen my nan since mid-November at the time. So I feel quite regretful that I did not see her sooner, that I should have seen her sooner. For my nan's passing, she was diagnosed with stage 4 impending death, which pretty much means that you're dying of old age, that your time has come. And my nan was fading in and out of consciousness, sleeping a lot, eating less. She needed carers for support for everything, but she still managed to communicate with me here and there. One of my aunties moved in to take care of her because one of my uncles had difficulty trying to take care of her and get carers to take care of her 24/7 because he has problems of his own, like his wife needs care, his difficulty with money making, he has pets to look after, a 15-year-old daughter, and he's in debt, a risk for losing his home. Anyway, my nan had lived a very long life. She passed at the age of 89 and she was going to turn 90. So that is a good way to live. And just last week on Wednesday, so from last week, from the time I'm making this recording, this voice recording, is where I just had her funeral. I was barely conscious myself because of the grief that I was having still for my nan and the constant grief for my mum. I was in so much fatigue that when the funeral ended, I had to ask my sister to take me home where I needed to sleep. So I did not go to the wake. It hasn't impacted me heavily like the passing of my mum has, but it's still heavy and difficult to know my nan is now gone, because she was my last remaining grand relative. So both my granddads and also step-granddad are now gone, with my mum now gone, just like my dad died a long time ago. Both my parents are now gone, and I'm still living at home, but by myself. I'm by myself, sleeping and eating, paying the bills all by myself. And that's why I've also had a hard time with trying to do some filming, trying to just work for the sake of money. It is very tough, I assure you, unless you have a huge mental capability with high intelligence. No one is incapable of thinking clearly on the emotion, the reality that your loved ones have passed away and that you've had to change your life, you've had to accept the changes and carry on life as it is. But I assure you, my fellow YouTubers, subscribers and viewers, that this is not the end for me. I still go on YouTube every single day. I still go on both my YouTube channels every single day and look at them and watch them. From recently, I have uploaded my Final Fantasy Trinity, a fan-based series which I filmed back in 2012, but I've had difficulty with the editing, the special effects, the money budget, the actors and everything. And I was going to be releasing a prologue, but even that's taking too long. And because that's taking too long, I just decided just to upload my episodes on my channel. But before that, I released like a teaser trailer. At the moment there's 6 episodes and it's going very well. I'm uploading a few more eventually, and any other of my film stuff that I've recorded, that I filmed, I'll upload them eventually. I also upload YouTube videos which have even been taken down by YouTube for stupid and unfair reasons. Very lost videos from like 20 odd years ago. One of them which people have enjoyed, which is College Saga, a Final Fantasy comedy video that a creator named Mark Long has made when he was in Babson College, which is in America, and it was incredible. And I assure you and ask that you go and watch that as well if you enjoy RPGs and comedy, parodies and such. As for this channel, the one you see right now, I will be uploading YouTube videos one day. It's gonna take a long time to actually get back into the rhythm to upload and to get back into things. But I have not quitted YouTube. I just been having a break, which has caused me to put it off for so long for life priorities, and of course further due to the death of my mum and further the death of my nan. So I'm sorry if my voice sounded off or pausing or stuttering a tiny bit, because I am doing this in just one take, along with these random film footage that I've just slapped together for you to just watch, and a specific music that I'm playing in the background if you listen, to give off the melody, the feeling, the tone of my voice and the explanation. I hope I will see you all soon. The subscribers who have stayed with me, I know at least maybe 3 have left. A couple of people have subscribed, and then the couple of people which are the same couple of people ended up unsubscribing. I don't blame you that I haven't uploaded anything in so long. I mean, right now over about 5 years, 1 month is a fairly long time. I do thank you for staying and waiting for the time came. Newcomers and new viewers, do check out previous videos and watch any videos on my Rob's Film Crew channel until eventually when I upload something new. And so I will end it here, everyone. So I will show you something awesome at one point. And so I hope you guys now fully understand where I have been, what I have been doing, and what's been going on. So stay tuned, and I'll see you all in the next video.